Hi, friends. Host Eric here with Rachel,
Hello.
my beloved life partner.
Yes.
And together, we are broadcasting a television program known as Talking with Famous People. If you've never witnessed this television program before, well, now's your first time. Welcome. If you have witnessed it before, welcome back. Either way, the important thing is, what's the other side of happy? You know, if we think of happiness as a moon, what's on the other side? Hi,
Hey,
Octavio Silva. Is it sadness? No. Is it darkness? No.
No.
It's dissatisfaction. That's what it is. I am currently very dissatisfied with something, particularly the awful malfeasance being implemented by my debater's school and his coach, his horrible coach.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Hi, Zayden Black. Hi, Zandy.
Hey, Zaylen Black and Sandy.
Hi, Freddie Forgiato.
So, the cane is. Oh, I love you too, PP. Yes.
Morale.
Morale.
So I'll tell you the story. It's like, you gotta be effing kidding me. So Paulie has hired themselves a terrible debate coach, basically. Probably brand new. It takes a little while to get the hang of it. You know, you gotta be competitive too. You gotta really want to win. So this guy's got a really weak squad, and he entered my kid in novice LD at Jack Howe, even though my kid is no novice. So
He is no novice. No. The coach got it wrong. Thanks, Zaylen Black. Appreciate it.
You should have seen it this morning. It was awesome.
Oh my gosh.
It was kicking ass and taking names.
Thank you, baby. I like that you could see me like that.
So anyway, my kid went into Jack Howe in the novice division where he didn't belong and was, in the process of winning his sixth round to go 5-1. But at the end of the sixth round, they disqualified him for not being a novice, for being too experienced. So the thing is, the guy's Jeffrey's coach at school is different than his coach in real life. In other words, his team coach is not running an LD squad. He's running policy and parley. And Jeffrey wants to do LD. And so anyway, Jeffrey gets disqualified. And then, get this. So today the school, he goes to go talk to the dean, or meet with the dean, because the coach says that Jeffrey misled him about how experienced he was. First of all, Jeffrey told him about his experience, exactly what it was. He told him how many years he'd been doing it. But most of all, it is the coach's job to determine whether a student belongs in open or varsity or JV or novice or whatever. Rebecca Balcarcel, the other half of Happy. I've not familiar with that. Right. So not only this does he try to put his bad decision on my kid, he prohibits at this point my kid from doing LD going forward because why? Well, no good reason. So he wants him doing parley. I guess because Jeffrey's the only person on the squad who's doing LD, but the real reason is because I'm showing his ass up. Jeffrey's showing his ass up. He's a shitty coach, and Jeffrey's really good and getting better and running. Like when Jeffrey actually, talked to the coach about his LD case, the coach was like, trying to shit on my case a little bit, but doing a poor job of it. I mean, obviously, he wasn't shitting on him to me, where I would have successfully crushed his ass.
Yeah. See that? I was like really hoping for once they would let you speak to the coach, but whatever.
Winston's mom playing matchmaker.
With whom? With whom?
With Zandy and or Zaylen Black. Much like T.I., it works inductively. T.I. does not work inductively. Who would say such an idiot thing?
What is this from? Yeah. Is this from
Taking to build a picture of what is unquestionably you, and a mature FI user accepts that they can never truly see the real you. They can only guess, only keep refining the picture with any new information they get. This process never stops. Again, think of TI. The questions are unending. That doesn't make it inductive. Mature FI doesn't tell you how you should feel or how you should think. This kind of FI makes the user constantly aware of the fact that their perceptions aren't your perceptions, that they never could be, and vice versa. I mean, at this point here, a very important point here is FI isn't about emotions or feelings. It's ultimately concerned with moral subjectivity, what it means to be human. Not with morals, though. Subjectivity and what it means to be human, sure. Rather than being self-centered, FI gives a sort of empathy, imagination that allows the user to completely lose themselves in another person or a work of art or an idea. Not a work of art. That's intuition. Not an idea. That's intuition. Another person, yes. So this is partially right and mostly wrong. Largely wrong. Wrong in its essence. When it tries to do TI stuff, it's completely wrong. When it draws a parallel between TI and FI in terms of them both being inductive, it's completely wrong. It conflates FI and intuition in a couple of spots, and it gets it wrong. It says that because people feel strongly, often engage in this sort of moral equivalency with other human beings, that makes them moral. But no, it doesn't. FI is not linked to morality. It usually may be sort of correlation with goodness, but that doesn't mean that's an absolute link. It's not. A lot of people are wrong about a lot of things. Why don't we just put Zandy and Zaylen Black together and call it a day?
That's what I was thinking.
Skip the middleman, right? That's our new inclusive culture. Everybody's got to be gay, otherwise you're a bigot. If you aren't gay, you're a bigot.
That's what I've learned.
I think that's a good bumper sticker.
It is. Do you mind if we move the chat so that I can see what they're writing too?
Oh yeah, of course. Sorry.
Thank you. That's all right.
I think we can learn something about FI from what my
oh, cool. Thanks. So much better.
from what bipolar ultimately manifests as to some extent. One of the symptoms of being an FI person, FI polar person, I mean, is that I don't have a good sense of what other people think or feel about me. So one of the reasons why ENTPs are particularly egalitarian is because it's very difficult for me to recall that the way in which our respective positions impact the relationship. In other words, because I'm selfish about FE, I never really think or pay attention to the fact that, here's an example. This is an example of FI polar. One time, Rachel and I were sitting here, and it was early in our relationship, and you were blocked? Who blocked you? How did that happen? It wasn't not here. Nobody did it on purpose. It must have just been
or on accident. I'm not on
it must have just been some sort of mierda, man. I don't know. So the thing is, like, I remember saying, all right, I'll leave you here to chat with Rachel for a bit, even though you're an ESTP and I don't really feel super happy with my girlfriend around her duel unsupervised or something like that, you know? And it was, it was like a 19, 20-year-old kid. And it's like, what are you talking about? You're host Eric. And I was just like, oh, right, that whole thing. It's hard for me to remember that other people perceive me differently than I perceive myself. I think FI people are good at understanding that they get that somebody else might hold you precious. They understand the value of that, the importance of that, and the impact of that. It's not something that I really get, that other people hold me precious, quote unquote. I just inherently, intuitively, always am not thinking from that frame of reference.
Is it okay if I think you're precious?
Thank you, darling. You make that very clear to me, and I appreciate that.
Cool.
I believe you when you tell me that.
It's all true.
Zaylen Black, it's funny you mentioned Glitch in the Matrix. I think probably an equivalent. No, I don't think it's bad self-esteem, low self-worth. I don't have bad self-esteem or low self-worth. I just am not thinking about your perspective on me very much in terms of your feelings about me. I'm thinking what you might think about me, how you might judge a given thing that I'm doing in that FE sense, but I'm not thinking about that you have a relationship to me that extends beyond this interaction, basically.
Right. One of the things that I learned being with you is that, like, very much more around like adventures, your focus is like, boom, what's in front of you. So I have to watch out for myself because I'm there with you, but your mind is on yourself, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I had to learn that I have to watch myself. Like, I need to be just as much of a leader for myself as you are for yourself.
Extreme way to put it. Winston's mom says, I found a channel with one subscriber called Host Eric Topic, and it has a few videos where you rap. I did not go further into that to find out if someone was trolling. I think perhaps it's yours. It's not mine.
That is so weird.
I have no idea what it is.
Oh, kitty freshness pants. Oh my goodness. I really do want to pet you, and I'm going to. Oh, I know Daddy's a busy man, isn't he? Yes. Oh, you want to sit here?
Well, what an extremely good kitty.
Here, I'll move the stuff for you. I talk to Pee-Pee like she's human.
Me too. I'm rubbing her.
Oh my god.
Where did they get this picture from? That's definitely.
Oh, this is an old. Oh, it's got. Oh, I see. It's got. I think this is everything. So I have one album that's been formally released. So, and it's Mr. Strauss Learns to Rock. And I guess it's probably some sort of automated thing, or I don't know. That's funny.
That is really funny. I'm so glad it's there.
If I release another album under the name Host Eric, then I guess it would come up here.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah, that is cool. Huh. What do you know? Thank you for finding that.
Yeah, thank you, Winston's mom.
A little bit. I wouldn't say I'm featured on it. I inserted myself a little bit into it. Yeah. Fellas, I like rap music. I like to listen to it. I like to put it in my car when I drive down the street. I like to hear the DJ, hear the MCs talking about how they're better than the other MCs and more clever. I like rap music. I like to listen to it. I like to put it in my car when I go down the street. I like to hear the MCs talking about how they're better than the other MCs and more clever. It's pretty cool, huh? Well, thanks, Octavio Silva.
But she said.
Says she likes an interruption. That song is Second Night, and recording attempt in which Liz comes in and interrupts.
That's cool. I have to hear that one too.
Mr. Strauss Learns to Rock is the best name. Thank you. Yeah, it's a good name for an album.
He's a very talented host.
But, you know, it's not a very good album, I don't think, really, frankly. I guess that's the difference between FI 6th and 7th. I usually keep that in mind, even if I don't know exactly how they feel about me. Yeah, I don't have any, basically, I don't base any conclusions on the fact that somebody loves me, really, or something. Except maybe, except maybe, oh man, I was just pulled completely off. Completely off tracks by Octavio Silva's comment there. My current mic did not do my voice justice. That is such an impactful thing to say. I have to think about that a lot. Like the thing is, I am aware of the fact that I'm not doing a good job of recording vocals in general. And that's concerning to me. And I don't think it's the mic, but maybe I should stop recording my voice in stereo miking it, just single mic it, mono mic it. Winston's mom, I hope you learned an important lesson in that cloud situation there. He made it public. Makes it fair game. If you treat it as though it weren't public, you give him the opportunity to change his status.
Yep.
And that's why statuses matter. No. Winston's mom wanted his agreement.
Mm-hmm. That was
Yeah, he would have had nothing to complain about.
Mhm.
He had a public video.
Yeah.
He put a link up to
He
it.
wanted people to see it then.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I mean, the point is, it
When
doesn't
it's
matter if
public,
you.
it's public. It was fair game.
So anyway,
Anyway.
this guy who's coaching my kid at Poly. Oh my God, coaching my kid. Who's
Not really.
all he's doing is undermining my kid. All he needs to do is to choose to facilitate my kid in doing what my kid wants, which is LD. He doesn't even have to coach his ass at all. But he's so selfish and wicked.
Yeah, talking down to Jeffrey is not cool. Talking down to your student is not cool.
Did I expose Cloud in some way? No.
I just want to throw a quick shout out to everyone at Mercy Behavioral Health Center. You guys really rock.
A guilty grin? No, I didn't expose Cloud at all. I had nothing to do with this at all. I don't care about Cloud. I'm not that interested in other people.
That's so weird. No
I had
conspiracies about
I
Eric
had nothing to do with Cloud at all.
Yeah.
Winston's mom said to me, or said to the chat, not just to me, to everybody, that she had she had found Cloud's video and was going to link it if Cloud agreed to have it linked. Of course, it's a public video, so he doesn't need to agree to shit. Hi, Abraham. Are you a cat in a box?
Our kitty likes boxes too. We don't have many, but when there is a box, she does go in it.
Or the fast answer followed by a long silence and even smile. It's because the thing is, my area of attention is constantly being shifted by new things in the chat. So it's like I have trouble staying on attentional point on any given single point very, very long at all. I haven't gotten myself into any BS. Not at all. I am mad at the Poly coach, but that's not anything to do with me. That's just
Poor teaching skills.
yeah, I mean, look, this coach is really like screwing my kid over because, I mean, it's not that I'm not allowed to. I don't think my clients would be happy if I unilaterally decided to do so. I don't know exactly who he is. Like, I don't know his name. I'm sure I could figure it out easily enough. But you're not the coach, Abraham. I know that much. You're not the Poly coach. My parents are like, well, you don't understand. He's untouchable. He's black. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. That doesn't make him untouchable. He's fucked up. He fucked up badly.
Yeah, he did.
Like, and he did it for the wrong reasons. Doesn't matter.
Host Eric's right.
I am the president. The president of pleasure. That's the president. The president is the president of pleasure.
I'm part of the party. The dance party.
Is Coach Eric ever not right? I mean, that's the thing. He's not poaching my students. Look, it's his kid, right? It's his debate team for Pauly, but they don't run Lincoln Douglas. Now, my kid wants to do Lincoln Douglas. My kid's happy enough to hi Eric Moore, you weren't quiet enough.
Boom.
My kid is happy enough to hire me to coach him in LD, so the coach doesn't have to do anything. But the coach messed up in the first tournament, put him in novice. He got disqualified for being a novice because he was too good. And even though my kid told him ahead of time, but the coach, I don't know, put him in novice. And then after the tournament, the coach tried to blame him for putting him in novice, for misleading him, which is bullshit because can you imagine? It's like this. The coach going, well, it's not my fault I put in the wrong quarterback as the starting quarterback. You know, the quarterback I played, he really convinced me. He really told me he was ready to do it. And so I believed him. And so it's his fault. Can you imagine somebody saying that shit?
Lord. Beef crap.
Rich is a bit of a copper.
Yeah, I'm a cougher. And also, it's RACHEL. It was a good bong rip. And also, sometimes when words I don't like come out of people's mouths and I'm smoking weed, or even if I have like a mug in my hand, I have a knee-jerk reaction to it. So listening to that story, I was like,
Oh,
and it's officially on.
no, I haven't seen your badass social marketing media campaign. We'll see how my current main source of income is working with this client, and so it's like I may be needing to find some other thing depending on how this thing plays out. My kid's really stubborn though. He's an ENTP and he's been poisoned completely by me at this point and my approach towards
He
things.
likes working with you.
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying it's going to be difficult to get him to accept bullshit, you know?
Yeah.
Because he's TI tool and it's unfair and it's bullshit.
It is bullshit.
When you feel about to cough, say cheese quick 4 times. Cheese quick 4 times? Like that?
Cheese.
Or like that?
No.
I have no assistant. I have no means to hire anybody. I'm just scraping by myself, you know. And I probably should get more work, but it's I don't have it currently. So,
Hello, PP.
I don't think that's a good idea, Eric Moore. I don't want to fight you. Let's not fight, Abraham.
No.
I feel sad and sorrowful about the state of the world in general.
I do too.
It's all because of inadequate TI. Email Anthrax is here, everybody. Thank God.
Hey, emailed Anthrax. I was just talking about my dance party. That's the party that I belong to. Well, I actually belong to the party, but you know. Dance parties happen at parties.
kitty.
I don't live near Seattle. Well, I tell you what I need. Foremost is, I guess, some sort of concrete plan. You are correct. I do pay you with love and affection and gum. Don't forget that. So I was really pissed earlier when I was talking to the mom, but it's a very interesting family. The mom is an ESTJ, the dad is an ISTP, the daughter's an ISTP, and the son is an ENTP. He's my client. The ESTJ mother is totally has this beneficiary relationship with her son. And then, stop drinking when you argue with people and you won't be so pissed. I wasn't drinking. I wasn't arguing either. I'm on the same side as the mom. The only reason I get mad at the mom is because she wants to always play defense on this thing. Basically, she's trying to ESTJ her way through this problem rather than Eric her way through this problem. If she would listen to me and do it Eric's way, she would be in control of the situation by now. She's not going on offense enough.
Thank you, Pee-Pee. Thank you.
Of course I wasn't drinking. I don't drink alcohol.
No, he doesn't drink.
I don't drink alcohol at all.
No.
Never. Haven't in
6 years.
6 years. I guess coming up on 7.
Yes.
Yeah. This Christmas season,
Yeah.
day after Christmas, will be 7 years. That's pretty good, huh?
I think so. That's something to be very proud of.
It's a long time without any alcohol.
Very long time.
Thanks, Running Fox. I appreciate your hand claps.
Yeah, thanks, Running Fox. Oh, it's a boo.
Yeah. We are doing Kool-Aid here. I heard somebody actually one time express taking offense at that because it referenced mass suicide. It's like, oh, come the fudge on, Yeah. Everybody is welcome to drink my breast milk. It's warm and lactose rich for all of you. But does breast milk have lactose in it? I'm curious. It probably does.
It probably does. I think it would be. Some babies are lactose intolerant. They have to drink synthetic milk.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. My breast milk is mostly made out of formula, though. I should warn you.
Oh, Carnation?
Yeah, it's actually not even formula. It's Carnation Instant Breakfast. Carnation Instant Breakfast. You're going to love it in an instant.
Aw. That comes out of you?
It
How
comes out of
special.
my boobs, yeah. Your breasts are lacking lactose. I'm sorry to hear that, Eric
Oh
Mom.
my gosh, what a kitty pageant winner face.
It's a kitty baby. Oh, kitty loves you.
Oh, yes, I do.
Uh-oh, there goes the bong.
Oh my goodness, it's the second time this week. I'm sorry. I'll clean up tomorrow.
I'm stressed about it. Just let me get a paper towel to put on it or something real quick.
Yeah.
That's good enough. We
It's
need
new
to be
water.
Yeah, we don't need to be all cleany about it.
It's so hard for me to stop petting her.
It's so hard for you to stop knocking shit over.
Oh.
I think it's hilarious and adorable, darling. It's like an example of BoJack Horseman's TE Polar is when he starts teaching that class at Wesleyan, and he first thing he does is write on the board in Sharpie, right on the whiteboard in Sharpie, That's just like, you know. And of course, then he's kind of necessarily going to be like Sideshow Bob, right?
That's a very good impression.
Why don't you use perfumed flavored water so when the bong spills, the room will smell wonderful?
Yeah, but then you're inhaling that wonderful
Yeah,
perfume.
that's
It's
a
not the
bad
same.
idea.
But you know what's cool? Sometimes I like to put ice cubes or like really cold water, and then sometimes you'll get like a cool mist of air down your throat. I changed the water today. It shouldn't be bad.
It's called adding the spirit of winter.
Hey, Chris, kind of nice emojis. I like those. Planet Earth and Saturn.
This is an entirely cyanide-free cult. We've got, in fact, it's the least culty cult of all time. We encourage everyone to do their own thing.
Yeah, if you're going to use Kool-Aid, put it in your hair.
Yeah. All right, good idea.
It'll dye it red.
What?
Yeah, it does. That's how Kurt Cobain dyed his hair.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Unitarian Universalist cult. It's like, everybody's welcome.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. We don't expect anything from you.
Pee-Pee's the mascot.
Our motto is there's nothing wrong with you. I don't think many cults have that motto. That's sort of the anti-cult. I think every cult's basic premise is there's something wrong with you. Look at the way Scientology operates, right? It begins with telling you what's wrong with you and then it promises to fix it. That's a good idea, Oliver. Welcome. Are antipsychotics a good idea? Well, give me an example of an antipsychotic. I mean, look, when I say there's nothing wrong with you, I am saying something that is not universally true, okay? It's like sometimes there is something wrong with somebody. If you've got appendicitis, then you need to get your appendix out, right? There's something wrong with you right now, and you need to get it fixed. If you are having psychotic breaks, well, then there's something wrong with you. You need to get fixed. Same thing. But that's the point, is that when you're not talking about specific problems with specific solutions, that you shouldn't internalize ontological critiques that basically summarize as there's something wrong with you and here's what it is. And almost everybody is subject to a fair amount of that. Like, why can't you just be more meh is the sort of thing that qualifies as an ontological critique. Now, I tell you what's not an ontological critique. It's this kitty.
She knew it was time for daddy time.
Oh, yes. Oh, magnificent, noble creature. I love you with my emotion.
Oh, she's kissing me with her nose too.
Oh, my sweetie pie. Get fixed got a totally different meaning in the dogs community. Good point.
Yes, it does.
There's something wrong with you for not knowing your type. Get typed today. The only thing that's wrong with you is that you haven't been typed by me yet.
I have a question.
I have an answer.
So I know that you don't want to chop off cat balls, right? You don't have to get them fixed.
It makes me feel sad.
Yes. What about dogs?
Same thing.
But dog, is it neutering?
It's Spain if it's
Spaying.
for chicks. Look, I don't know why, just because it's an FI thing. It's like I identify on some level with the animal with getting its balls cut off, and I don't identify that much with the girl cat or the girl dog getting their stuff taken out.
Well, isn't it? Well, I get that. but I also think okay, that's an okay way to go because, I mean, if you don't spay your dog, you're gonna have a big litter after.
Right. Well, that's the other thing is if you have a male cat, it might get somebody else's cat
Yeah.
pregnant, but it's not your problem.
Yeah, see, that's the thing.
And what are they going to do? DNA cat fatherhood testing?
Right.
What about people? Sterilization okay? Or is it the lack of agency? Oh, double standard? Well, it's the fact that animals don't have rights.
That's cute, Running Fox.
And that's the answer to the question, Dan Black, is the reason it's not a double standard is that animals don't have rights. I'm not saying spaying or neutering is not okay. I'm saying I don't like it. It's an FI thing. I'm not making any claims about what's right or just or true. I'm telling you what I want, right? I'm just saying this is how I feel about it.
I wouldn't want the obligation of the care either.
Right. I did the FI in a nutshell.
no.
I'm being selfish, and I'm saying I don't have any good reasons for this, but this is what I want anyway.
Yeah, no. I agree with you. I'm right there with you. I would not want to take on the responsibility of having puppies or kittens to get rid of. Because honestly, like you got to get rid of them. How am I going to be keeping? That's like
Non-human animals don't have rights, Morridge. Okay. This is not an ontological attack. Would be a good T-shirt.
These are really juicy nugs. May I just say?
Don't you love the
Yeah.
pine trees taste?
Yes,
It's got
I
a
really
great. It's got a
do.
great finish.
They even look like pine trees. Like, hey, look at this one. Doesn't it look like a pine tree?
Yeah, it does.
It's a nice nug.
Mmm.
Mm,
Smells good.
does.
If you want to smoke a bong rip.
Go for it. Use the gnarly.
Abilify, but she switched last minute to Latuda.
Oh,
What's
I-
Latuda?
I took Latuda.
Oh, that one time.
That was
in December or something.
Mm-hmm.
Latuda, in the short time the Rachel was on it, seemed to work well for her.
Yeah, it
but
did.
It's super expensive.
Yeah, there's no what do you call it? There's no generic version for it yet, so you have to pay Latuda price, which is $700. It's expensive.
Unless you get, there is no
Yeah, thank
generic
you,
of it
Leon
yet.
Black.
There's no generic of it yet.
Yeah, there's no generic of it yet, so that's good. It's a great. Honestly, I was fighting to get it for myself, but I couldn't.
Well, Zaylin Black, I say the onus is on the person who wants to prevent the obligation.
No, I didn't look into importing it. I was in New York when I was trying to get it too, but I'm happy with what I'm on right now. What I'm on right now is working, so I don't need it really. You know,
What she's on right now is working great.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear about your dog running, Fox. It's
Me
very
too.
sad.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
So, it makes me think about family dynamics. This family,
Oh, good. I'm glad. I hope she improves too.
so, one thing that I kind of like about, or one of the things that's I think resonates with me about BoJack Horseman is one of the characters in it has mental health issues and ended up getting on medication. And,
Yes, that made her crave food and gain weight.
right.
So real.
And it's it's a very real show on a lot of different levels. Yeah, Diane, right. So it's interesting the extent to which SI is relevant in my positions on things. So, prior to being with Rachel, I might have occasionally, I don't know if I said it very often, but it's conceivable that I said things like, most of those mental health drugs, people shouldn't be on them. There's probably nothing wrong with them. They're just, yeah, or some bullshit like that. Of course, now I understand better. Hi, Sean O'Neill.
Hey, Sean O'Neill. I'm getting so naked.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah. Fuck. Can I ask, does anyone else grind or clench their jaw in their sleep? I can feel my jaw, and it's like, do you use Andy? And you too, Zealand Black. What do you guys, you have in the past, here's Kara? Lots of women do, yeah. I'm not surprised about that.
Running Fox, are you FE in the first or second slot? I have a little working hypothesis here that people with FE in the first or second slot use emojis at a much higher rate than everybody else.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like you notice that when he came in, Sean O'Neill used a hello emoji. It's an effective thing to do to get somebody's attention more than no emoji. And it conveys the emotional range of what's being said as well as the literal meaning of what's being said.
That's
Sean Ryan Bennett,
yeah.
That's also another INFJ style move is to and it makes sense if you're male that you would limit your emoji use some because it's probably perceived as a little girly.
Okay, so how did you get control of it, Eric Moore? Like, what was something that you did to help you from clenching or grinding? It's weird. It's like so strange. It doesn't happen all the time.
I mean, I'm not saying. Notice how nobody's using emojis all of a sudden. That's so FE. Oh, something been drawing attention to. I'm going to not do it now for a while. I think they're great. I like their use of emojis in general. I find it. I like to be on the receiving end of it. I don't tend to use them myself, but I find that when I do, I communicate more effectively. Well, Abraham uses a shit ton of emojis. He's the ESFJ guy. Yeah.
I do. I use emojis. I used to on my Facebook say that I spoke emoji.
Sometimes emojis convey false emotions. With me, they convey false lightheartedness to keep conversation flowing. Smiley face.
I always liked the one that looked like Space Invader guy. Like it's like a purple. I don't know.
Maybe it's an interface thing. Who knows? I agree. People do sometimes misinterpret words and intentions. I find I use them sometimes when I'm feeling lazy about communicating things more complicated. I just, it's like I want to send a message that's more than perfunctory, but not put any more effort into it than is required of being perfunctory. Then I'll add an emoji or something. Like to show, to personalize a quick response or something like that.
So I think what I'm conscious of, but I want to make unconscious, is that I've been like having a lot of family contact, like speaking lately, which is not common for me. And I'm realizing it's something that's like, that stresses me out. And I think it's showing up in my dreams. So it's time to maybe write stuff down or like get action. Just saying that really fucking helps.
If I want to say you are rude, for example, I could say I could be just as rude as you. Middle finger. That's good. Anthrax. I like that.
Yeah.
That's very slick INFJ.
You can go like this too.
FE.
Nerve health, maybe kind of feeling nervous in your gut. Like, I've never heard of that, Sean O'Neill. It's like, because I don't talk, like, I never, like, chilled with my family. We weren't, like, hanging out fam. When I was a kid, we did. And I hung out with my dad sometimes and watched movies and would listen to music. But, like, besides family dinners, that was it. And more recently, now that my sister is separated from her husband, she's more chatty than ever. So it's like I'm like talking a lot to my family more than I do normally, and it's a stressor. That's it. And it's seeped into my dreams to where I think I am clenching because I'm thinking about it in my dreams. So I have to probably write. Usually when I write it down, it gets out. And as long as it's out of my brain. No. Yeah, I have a journal. And I have been ignoring it.
I mean, we also have this, where like Rachel just talked about it some here. This is kind of an equivalent way of dealing with shit. It's my basic like stand-in for therapy or whatever. Every time I'm feeling upset about something, I come on here and talk about it, and people sometimes will be like sympathetic, or sometimes they'll suggest things, or sometimes they'll whatever, but regardless, I'll end up talking it out.
That's good.
Yeah, it's good to talk things out.
Yeah, it is.
Of course, I think that for an INFJ, talking it out is probably a less exhaustive process. Like it
No,
probably
it's not.
doesn't take that much talking to talk out things that seem to coalesce down pretty straightforwardly.
Totally. When it works like that, it works really well. Paying more attention to how you feel in the present moments, harvest helps. Thanks, Running Fox. I know what it is. I know what it is. I know what I have to do, and I don't want to do it because, like, I'm an idealist, and in my ideal world, like, I'd be like, da da da, chatting on the phone all day with my family, having a fun time. But that's not the reality of it, and I listen a lot more than I talk when I'm with my family, and it does take out a lot. It does. It really does.
In other words, people are putting demands on you, and you find those relationships, generally you end up having to give more than you get in some sense, right?
Definitely.
Like you're there for them so that you can listen to them, but you're not really that interested in what they're talking about necessarily.
Yeah, like I found out, like, so my mom texted me yesterday. Can I talk about it? Like,
Why not?
Okay, so my mom texted me yesterday, and she's like, "Hi, Rachel, how are you doing?" And I'm like, "No, that's a phone call. I'm not gonna go and write her a whole long text about what I've been doing. I'll just call her." So I did, and right away she goes into talking about how her car needs to get fixed, like, once again. And I wasn't surprised because it's been an ongoing problem since we've gotten the car in 2013. So I, there was that news, and then it's like sometimes I feel like I'm a dumping ground.
Well,
And
for ESTJs, talking serves two purposes. It's either you are concisely expressing to them what your problem is so that they can solve it, or you are listening to them be not concise about anything.
Yeah. So, I let her talk, and I let, I have her on speaker so I can kind of like do my thing while I'm talking to her and stuff. But it's also like that with my sister too. And my sister's today is her first day in Serbia. So she's been nervous about that trip, and so she's been like in contact with me more than she has usually, like. So there's that. And then, it's like I get reminders of everyone's birthday all the time. Don't talk like what?
I don't know. Probably said something harsh about yourself or something.
Oh.
It sounds like that kind of the response from the response I inferred.
I don't know what I said. It's just like I feel like I don't want to be there for everyone. I want to be.
Your dad's an ESTJ, Oliver. I was trying to make room for Yumi and PP. That's why PP got down.
I think she has an idea that trouble is a brewing.
So is it that because you're disinterested and impartial, sometimes people need a dumping ground, and it's very role to fill if you have the fortitude? It's true, though. People will treat you like a dumping ground when you have high emotional intelligence.
See, it's one of those where I can't help it. Like, I do feel the INFJ idealness, like perfectionistic part of me comes out through my family. Because I like to look on the bright side, and I go into these calls being like, "Hey, Mom, I just want to chat," and then the chat turns into not just a chat, like a whole like session. And my battery runs like low. I can only take so many dosages of that, you know? It's hard for me to explain, and I'm sorry if I'm like offending people.
I don't think you're offending anybody. Yeah, ESXJs are wild to me in some ways, says your Huckleberry. Their memory for practical details is heroic, but they can't seem to see deeper meanings, much to my dismay. That's true. They have trouble with deeper meanings, and they have trouble with the idea that meanings persist over time. The other thing that struck me talking about this emotional intelligence thing is Andy says, even people who I meet at stores will dump their problems at me. I mean, I love people, but it's the wrong place and time. So the thing is, what occurs to me is probably one of the reasons why Rachel finds it fairly comfortable to be with me is because I, being FI polar, I'm not really okay. Am I done?
Yeah.
Hello? Yes. Yeah, well, my phone is charging over there, so I guess I didn't hear it. But Rachel has her phone with her, so I answered it when she saw it was you. I answered it. Sure. I'll check it right now. Okay. Goodbye. Now that he had trouble getting in touch with me.
Oh. Thanks, Marge. Bonnie. Toy Story 3. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen Toy Story 3 in so long.
So yeah, I don't really emotionally dump. I might like ideationally dump some. Go like, that's interesting. That's an example of me. Yeah, I might do that to Rachel, but
No.
I don't think that Rachel is going to respond negatively to that necessarily.
Thanks.
Rachel looks like a grown-up version of Bonnie, the little girl from Toy Story 3. I'm curious to see now what that person looks like.
Not bad. Thanks. It's cute. I do have my hair is kind of like that.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
That's true. It's
Aww.
a good call.
Yeah, thanks. That is a good call.
I would plan entire conversations and things to talk about when my family got together. All the women in the kitchen and I would try to get the conversation going somewhere interesting. It never worked. I ended up hanging out with the men, but gritting my teeth. It's a sensor thing we can never quite understand. It must be frustrating for them when we are never in the here and now.
Yeah.
I think it's because INFJs don't typically dump much of anything onto anyone, yet people dump a lot onto us, and the energy level for us is low. Ideational dumps versus emotional dumps, which hurts worse? I think ideational dump is probably
yeah. Like, it's so dumb. I dislike it so much. You know, like this is something that I have to like move on from. I've already mentioned it to you, but like my mom had mentioned, like she got me a dress, but it's not really my style. And she mentioned that she bought it because she notices that I wear like this dress like a lot in photos, and she wanted me to have like a new dress. And I was like, Can you just like leave me alone?
My face right now? What's over my face? I don't know. I'm reading these things. Oliver says, I almost never dump ideationally and I never dump emotionally on anyone in real life. Well, the thing is, the verb dump is an interesting one. I talk things out with Rachel as we go through the world. Like, maybe we'll see something in a store when we get back at it. Like, that, oh my God, that guy had so much FE.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, we do.
You know?
We do talk like that. Which is.
And then, I'm likely to ideate off of it at some point and say, well, it's funny how he's probably this kind because of meow, 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 something like that. I definitely talk more than Rachel does. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, but you know what? You let me talk enough. Like, this is more talking than I've done in so long. That's just such a weird thing to say, but it's absolutely true. I mean, it's like the Tori Amos song, silent for all these years, but it's not about the same content.
Spewing is a good verb to toss in the mix here, Zaylin. Zaylin says she'll spew but not dump. It's a good distinction. Sometimes I spew, but I generally don't dump because I generally am not complaining. Neither Rachel nor I are complainers.
No.
So it's like
It's nice.
I complained a little bit in the car after talking to Jeffrey's parents, and then here again, which I was just like, ooh. But it doesn't. I mean, that's like a legitimate kind of amount of response to a legitimate provocation. But maybe because I'm bipolar, I'm not going to spend much time talking about how it bugs me. It's like I'm either going to see it as something I can solve, something I can't solve, in which case I'm going to try to forget about it. I still might wake up mad periodically about it, but what are you going to do?
I think that was yours.
What's the difference between emotional and ideational? Well, emotional is he's not being poached. He's not being poached. It's not like that. Like emotional dumping could be either positive or negative. Like talking a lot about how much you enjoyed something, or talking a lot about how much you're hurt by this person's behavior, or talking a lot about how unfair something was, or whatever. That's emotional dumping. Ideational dumping is, well, kind of like what I was just demonstrated, where like we see someone in the store, and I'm like, that was good FE, for example. Like sometimes it's usually I'm going to be commenting on FE stuff because of the context, right? So it'll be like, that person was effective in their FE. They were very nice and helpful, but they didn't over insert themselves into our experience or something like that. That kind of ideational critiquing. And then maybe it'll link to somebody else. I'll go like, now contrast that with Mia, who I say does a different kind of approach. That means this person was probably NI and that person probably SI or something like that,
I think that Bojack hits it really well also with INFJs and their FE. Like, there's some times where he's just so disheveled. Like, there's just sometimes where we see him in a tux suit and tie, and we also see him like totally disheveled with like his hair all over the place in a fucking mess. I feel that. I literally do, because if I use my FE too much, it like gets to a point and I'm just like, oh gosh.
How important is predictive power in determining the legitimacy of the theory? Fairly important. You should be able to make predictions. You should have means to falsify it, right? So that's why predictive power is really significant at all, is because it's implicit in falsification. falsification means that you set up some sort of conditionality. If meow, then meow, and you can test it and determine if in fact it's the case. So there's prediction implicit in falsifiability. What was Jack Dawson from Titanic's type? I've never seen Titanic. I do that and my wife tells me to knock it off the typology talk. See, I mean, I've had that experience myself. Eric, I've had that exact experience myself. So I know how it's like you get it. It's reasonable on their end, but it's nice when your partner is also really into it.
Yeah, I really am very into it. And I like being into it with you.
I don't think you and I get tired or think like we do too much typology talk or anything.
Definitely not.
And it's not like we only talk about typology. We also talk about music and stuff like that.
Yeah, we do. We talk about instruments and different bands.
Well, the predictive thing, it's like basically you need to set up things like, okay, well, if a person scores meow and meow, then they're also going to score meow and meow. Is one kind of way you could set it up, right? In other words, if we could find good tests, good sort of reliable tests for, say, TI and FI, you could say that a person who scores polar on TI will necessarily score tool level on FI. If you can find good tests like that. Now, we don't really have the means to truly falsify this. We have some. It's too holistic still. It's like it's a culmination of various factors that ultimately make one answer determinate and the other not. The reason for this is human beings are open systems. In any given moment, if you're trying to test them to determine something, like any kind of psychology test, to the extent that they're aware of what's being tested, they will necessarily influence the results. Which is why when psychologists do tests normally, they try to hide the test they're doing as something else if they're really trying to test something, right? So it's like they'll tell you that you're there to be tested for some sort of like range finding psychology, but really that you're being tested on button pushing correlation with something else. You know, it's like that kind of deal. I live with an ENTJ and an ENFP and don't feel comfortable talking about MBTI at all. They're often the ones that bring it up. Well, I mean, there's not a lot of TI there in your understanding of it in those two types. How come he was such a young wife? He has such a young wife. Who? Oh, are you talking about me? Rachel's not that young.
I'm not that young. I'm 35.
Rachel's 35. Pretty sure there's no country in the world where being with a 35-year-old woman is a problem. But thank you for the compliment of my beloved Rachel.
Yes, thank
You're quite a stud yourself, Muffin.
Yeah, she looks younger than she is. Hi, Bargret Fargret. And I also look older than I am. You don't know even one person outside the internet that cares about typology? You know, I really don't either. I really don't. I feel that if I gather all day, I won't have enough time to process, and then I'll get brain damage from the information overload. I see. In Saudi Arabia, being with any age woman is considered a problem if you're a woman.
Who said that?
Oliver. I'm not sure if it made any sense, but he said it anyway.
Good thing I got myself a stubby 49-year-old, right?
That's right. Dustin Salisbury says, I managed to get my daughter hooked on typology memes, at least. Well, that's good. What types are prone to dumping their emotions on others and feel entitled to it? Probably INFPs. I guess most of all. Maybe ENFPs and ESFPs also. Maybe yeah, that would seem to me the one's most likely. ESFJ, that's possible. Who doesn't care about typology? That's not allowed around here. You have to care about typology so much. I'm INFJ. I dump all my issues back on those who least deserve it but can't fight back. What? You mad, bro? I don't think that's accurate. I feel like I'm only half as intelligent as my potential and that I am most intelligent when I'm away from all commotion and noise and when I can really process and think for myself. Yeah, that sounds very NI of you, David. Didn't you say you didn't care about it? Oh, I care about it. I care about it a lot. This much, at least. Maybe even this much.
Wow, that's also considered a lot.
Mm-hmm. My ESFJ mom will emotionally dump on people, but only when it relates to issues related to her children that are affecting her. Wow, that's a tough penalty, Oliver. Oliver has imposed a penalty of defenestration for those who look away from Mecca during prayer. Harsh. Wait a second, Patrick Gorski. Are you saying that pre-Enlightenment worldviews are inadequate for modern society? Is that what you're trying to say? That's not okay to hang people for being agnostics or whatever? You're talking kind of, hey, stop judging those people, you. Stop judging them for their barbarity. All cultures are equal.
Yes, Eric is transracial.
Right, I'm transracial. Uh-oh, am I being blasphemous again? Sand gulag for me. Sand gulag is a great term, Oliver, referring to the Middle Eastern equivalent of gulags. It's faintly racist in a hilarious way. Oh. Sand gulag. Eric sounds slightly drunk. I am not slightly drunk.
No, he is not.
It is Sleepy Week. Everyone should be using them freely. I like them, personally. It makes the chat more colorful.
Emojis?
Yeah. Gardyloo, used by people in medieval Scotland to warn passerbys of a waste about to be thrown from a window into the street below. It's the four of chamber pot tossing. What an interesting term, right?
Yeah.
Like in golf, you yell four when you hit the ball. Well, there's an equivalent for chamber pot tossing, and it's Gardyloo. Gardyloo. Excellent. Well, Kelly Hagerman, I hope you heard the Gardyloo in time and you didn't get any of the chamber pot's contents poured upon your head. Look, you can defenestrate a person you can't defenestrate a chamber pot because it's not alive, so you can only toss it out the window. Is it your position that beneficial mutations don't exist? Is that correct? Yeah. I additionally have the position that beneficial mutations, if they do exist, don't influence the genome of a species meaningfully. So even if you were to establish that there's some specific mutation you could point to that is somewhat beneficial or could be viewed as beneficial, that's going to be tough to prove because you got to frame it. But defenestrate means to kill somebody by throwing them out the window.
Ah.
It doesn't just mean throw out the window. Okay? You can't defenestrate a chamber pot because it's not alive. To throw a person or thing out of a window? Huh, maybe I'm wrong. Could be wrong on this, but isn't the ability to drink milk a beneficial mutation? What do you mean? Why would you conclude that? So how much longer will we streaming? Not much. I'm running out of gas here. You know, it's pleasant streaming, pleasant talking, but it's also near the beginning of Sleepy Week. I have slept quite a bit today, but I'm still feeling kind of meowy. When I get to it, Dave Samerson, right now I'm feeling kind of sad or something. I'm feeling like the other side of happy, which isn't exactly sad.
Yeah, it's just the other side.
It's just the other side of happy. I'm not saying the ability to digest lactose into adulthood is not advantageous. I'm saying, why do we conclude it's a positive mutation? Thanks, Patrick Gorski. See you later. All right. Well, why don't I wrap this up and I can chat with you briefly if you want, Dave Sanderson. I'll see you at Autonomy.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody. Don't forget to eat plenty of cheese.